All right, Allan, did you do this?
You asked me earlier, and I said no.
Okay.
And the only reason why I didn't is because shortly before I retired, severely screwed my back up.
Oh, okay.
And went from being in a hospital bed to a wheelchair to a walker, and was using a cane. Otherwise, I'd jump higher than that.
Okay.
It's a hell of a feeling, especially when it's planned, and you're getting out because you want to.
Yeah.
And I actually got out after my first 4 years. I was out for 9 months, and I was that guy like, screw the Marine Corps, this place sucks, I'm getting out. And civilian life wasn't as good as, the grass wasn't greener, so I came back in. Got to do it twice.
Yeah.
All right. Did you have to do boot camp twice?
Hell no.
Okay.
No, that would be a deal breaker. They actually, I got out as a corporal in E4. Had been for over a year, and when I came back in, they were trying to get me to come back in as a lance corporal, E3, and I mean, there's no way I was being treated as an E3 again.
Is there a big difference between E3 and E4 treatment?
Yeah, so E4 corporal, that's you're an NCO. I mean, you got plenty of opportunities, and most people, most Marines do. They're showing their leadership and put in leadership roles even as lance corporals. But an NCO, that's where it's like, okay, now there's a new level of how you're expected to act and lead.
Yeah, we don't really do that much on the sub. There's guys that show up already as a E5. Like their first day on the boat, they're already either about to be or they re-enlist immediately. And they show up as an E5, but we may have a dozen E3 Siemens and below on the whole crew. And if they're not an E4, they're about to be. You're going to just see them the next day, and they'll be an E4. But we don't really start separating like treatment. Maybe your LPO tour E6, but other than that, E5, E4, and E3. Obviously, we recognize subject matter expert and their proficiency, but as far as like the way no one's treated better or worse, I'd say.
Oh no. Yeah.
And then very rarely you get that nuke that was picked up as an instructor.
Oh yeah.
And they show up as an E6.
Yeah.
Brand new.
But they're not qualified submarines.
Not qualified, nothing. It was their first boat. Because if they go to Charleston nuke school, they're smart. They get picked up for instructor. They teach it, hang out, and then they show up to a boat and have never seen the Navy, and they're E6, but they're treated like an E3.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe not.
It gets dicey. We had one challenge, like we have a lounge, and the lounge is unofficially only used for qualified submarines. So you can't go in there and watch movies or play games. You need to be working on your submarine qualifications. So we had an E6 guy show up, and he tried to challenge that. I think you were on the boat during that. I remember talking. I think weren't you and I talking about it in Sonar? Like, what's the official answer and what's the right answer? Those are two different things.
Yeah.
What can I say, or what do you want to hear?
Yeah.
So if your back wasn't hurting, would this been you?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That's all I want. I don't know who you are, but if you schedule my husband for one more trip, I will find you. Any stories of wives calling Captain? I won't mention names, but allegedly, fairly recently, somebody's wife called the McPawn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I know it was definitely through Squadron. I don't know how high it went, but allegedly the call was made to the McPawn, which is our RE9 of the Navy, the McPawn.
Yeah.
You have anything on this?
It's not advised. Like I told my wife one time, could you imagine me calling your work and talking to your boss?
Asking when she's going to get off work.
Yeah. It's not going to go over well. So don't ever, and she never.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to and I'm not saying that this is going to sound terrible. You're not going to call a job somewhere at McDonald's. What time is the lunch brunch going to be over? And what time are they coming home? Yeah. Whenever the lunch brunch is over.
I've had sailors, it's typically that sailor's not willing to have a hard discussion with their spouse. Yeah. And have exactly what you said, like, don't do that. You're not helping me. They just I think they go home and they're very passive, and then that emboldens the wife because the husband's not telling her stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on that note, though, there was a spouse who called the command because a sailor was married and still not getting BAH. In that case, everybody's like, why did she call? She has every right. It was 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months.
I was actually stationed here, my first duty station, and this was back when if your wife had a baby, you only got 10 days.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 months now, right?
It's maybe longer than that.
It's
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 months now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's 90
I got
days,
stories to
but
go
it
with
can be
that too.
separated out.
So he had his 10 days. His wife called the CO, said that she wasn't ready for her husband to go back. It's too much. She needs him. Gave the Marine another 10 days. She called again at the end of that. Flipped out and got another 10 days. This dude got 30 days.
Winning.
Which at that time, this was in it's either 96 or 97.
Wow.
I won't mention. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, because now it is. I want to say it's like 3 months.
Okay. I don't remember. I know it's definitely more. Dustin Miles got pissed when one of his sailors came up to him and said, hey, Senior Chief, I'm having twins. Does that mean I get double the days?
Smart.
You may know who it is, but he didn't take that one very well.
No.
I think it was only 10 days at the time.
You can take 90 days of leave with re-enlistment leave. I try to tell every sailor, route that shit up. Mil PERS man allows it.
Say that one more time?
90 days of leave with re-enlistment leave. You can go 45 in the hole too. If you have 45 on the books, you can you can't go more than 45 in the hole. But if you have 45 on the books when you re-enlist, 90 days of leave is authorized.
Yeah,
Shall be approved when available.
But now you're screwed for a year and a half.
Still awesome to be out of the Navy for
That's
3
true.
months.
That is true.
Most I ever had was 50 days.
Yeah.
And I was PCSing from Hawaii to California. And I took my 30 days plus travel and proceeds and all that. And I remember it was probably like almost a month deep into it. And my youngest daughter, she was, I think she was like 5 or 6. She's like, Daddy, so what are you going to do now? And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, you're not in the Marines anymore.
Your beard's like this long.
No, because my wife was like, if you can shave for the Corps, you can shave for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
so.
I mean, to be fair, that's how long. How long were you guys married at the time?
Man, I want to say probably around like 16 or 17
Yeah,
years.
that's
probably.
the way she knows you for 16 years. So
Yeah.
then you change, and you say you were in the Navy. Your cream and sugar in your coffee says that was a lie. All right, I drink black coffee. Like if I go to any coffee shop, for me it's black. On the boat, I have to put sugar and cream in it.
Because the coffee's bad.
Our coffee is terrible.
What?
And it's not because the coffee that we physically get, it's the same coffee that everybody buys. It's just we never clean the machines. So it has that burnt, as we call boat, nasty smell. I don't know, how's your coffee out
Built up flavor.
in the desert? Is it good, normal, you can't tell?
I mean, I've made a lot of my time, because like I said, I was a grunt. So a lot of the camps that I've been on, like I've been on COPS where it's just my platoon. And there's no running water. We're literally just in somebody's field living in tents and eating MREs, and the water is just bottled water that's dropped off. And so, I mean, we're making our own coffee. I've had to where it's just this little sterno heater. You guys know what a canteen cup is, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Just heating water in a canteen cup and putting the
coffee from the MRE.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's I've had it as bad as that, and then you turn around and wash that out and shave right out of the same cup. So.
I think we're spoiled, aren't we?
I was good.
I think so.
I don't know if the comparison's good. I will say when I'm back in the rear, because I've done operations where I'm in an office,
Right.
and once again those lance corporals and below are the ones making the coffee. So